Hello Aries, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So I'm in a different space, Aries. I'm in the spare room, which is at the other end of the house, because the neighbors who have the barking dogs all the time are having their yard redone, and it's really noisy. Actually, it's noisier today than it was yesterday. Today they're using the equipment that like flattens out everything, and it's just a really loud vibrating sound. Even over here I can hear it, so I hope it's not too bothersome for you, but we're going to persevere and we're going to do it anyways. Right, Lily? She's laying on the bed with me. She's a good girl. Yeah, in your sunbeam? I know. All right, Aries. We're going to look at your current and future archetypal energy. You got to stop staring at me like that. You got to stop staring at me like that. Your current and future energies. We're going to use the archetype deck. Don't knock down my... Stop it. What are you doing? She's knocking my card down. Oh, you little shit. Okay. And then we're going to use the Wild Unknown Oracle deck to see what influences your archetypal energy. And then we're going to pull out the spread with some tarot cards. So let's get started. I feel like she's full of... Yeah, stop poking that. She didn't want me to work. I have to work. How do you think you get treats and food and shit? How do you think that happens? Huh? All right, Aries, my fireball babbies. The fireball babbies. Let me do this. This is, oh, that's comfy. Gonna do current and future energy for Aries. Current and future energy for Aries. Gonna stare at me the whole time. It's archetypal. Ooh, you have the warrior. You are a warrior right now. Are you light or are you shadow? We have to find out, because we're going to pull out more cards to really see. The light of this is strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. The shadow of this is trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. I don't know who you are. We're going to see. In the future, who are they in the future? Lily, the seeker. The light of this is thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. The shadow is inability to commit to a path once found. Those are interesting. At the bottom, you have companion. The light attribute of this is loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. The shadow of this is betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. Wow, these are really deep energies. Let's see where this goes. I want to see what... Okay, let's get an idea of what is influencing these archetypes for you. Oh, I see. My stuff is in her way because she wants to lay down, but it's not enough room, so her tail is getting tickled. She's the boss. She owns the place, man. She's the boss. Okay, what is influencing these archetypal energies for Aries? The warrior, the influence of this is the unicorn. Wow, this is very unique and different. This is, well, it's spirit. Okay, so I would say, because you are pulling out like a spirit related card, I mean, we don't see the tarot yet, but with the spirit related card and all of kind of like magic and mystical energy that comes with the unicorn, because anything that comes from spirit and that comes from magical and mystical is sort of like high vibrational. I would say that it is truth, whether anyone wants to believe it or not, with unicorn. So likely in the light attribute. So that gives me a little more direction with your reading. So you are exhibiting some sort of strength in a skill. Perhaps you are developing a discipline and toughness of will. So there could be an obstacle. There could be something that you are, likely is with warrior, that you kind of have to be your own hero here. You have to be stoic. So you can't be impulsive. Stoic usually has a tendency to just kind of persevere, do your best, show your best face, even in maybe some of the most difficult times. And self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. Self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. So maybe even if you know you're right, you don't go out and say it. Or maybe if you know what I mean? Like there's something here where you're sacrificing what your ego may tell you to actually do. What might, it just would stroke your ego to do this. You'd feel really good about it, but it wouldn't necessarily be the higher good of others. So that seems pretty good. In the future, you have the seeker, and what is influencing that in the future? Oh, the moth. I always find that's a fascinating card to pull out with this, because this moth card for me is, I always get, and it's not actually far off from what's described in the book with this, is, you see these guys at night and they're flying into, lights that have been left on porch lights or street lights or anything like that, because they seek the sun, but yet they're seeking the false sun and they exhaust themselves doing it. They, they lose all the powder and the dust. They're actually little tiny scales off of their wings, and they deteriorate. Their physical, their physicality deteriorates. Their emotional state, their energetic state deteriorates, chasing after something that is not realistic, that is not real. So it is seen like past illusions in some sense. It is breaking a bad habit in another sense. So I feel like it could be even shifting, right? It could, in the future, you could be shifting from shadow to light or hovering around there, but it seems like trying to move to the light. We'll see. I need more cards on that. Thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are found, wherever they are. Well, inability to commit to a path once found. I wouldn't see that as the moth. The moth, once the moth has got like something in it, it's there all night. So it could be the light for you. The vulture is at the bottom. So it's clearing out remnants of the past, remnants of past cycles, so that new can begin, so that things can begin fresh without any of the past, I want to say, like tainting the future with the vulture. And then so now if we look at the underline, now that I've kind of got an establishment if you're light or shadow. Companion, light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. So because you appear to be in the light, for what I'm seeing here, I would say that in general, I don't even know if it is a goal that you have or it's just kind of what you're becoming. It's, yeah, so loyal, tenacious, and unselfish. Oh, where do you need to go now? Oh, there. Too hot in the sun. Okay. Let's go into the tarot. This is where we get a little more depth here. It's already kind of deep. It's already kind of deep. Do I need to move this again? Now that's in her way. I'm so sorry, Lily. I'm so sorry that my work is interfering with your rest. Oh, when I said that, I just had this vision. I don't know who this might be for, where it's like somebody in a work environment and you're working really hard, you're doing a lot of things, you're getting what you need to get done, but there's someone else that you either rely upon to get what they need to do done, and like there's a bit of a team effort there, and you walk in to hand them, like, I don't know, some files or things that you were working on, and they're busy like playing connect the dots, or what is that thing, that Wordle? They're busy playing like Wordle on their computer. You're like, I'm sorry that my work is interfering with your rest. Okay, what we're going to look at in the current is, what have you been working on? What have you been healing? what is starting to blossom? And then in the future, what will you finish working on? What will be healed? And what will be ready to harvest? Oh my God. When they stop running that machine, it's so quiet. And the dogs aren't barking. They're not outside. See? You gotta be careful what you complain about, Cindy. Okay, what have you been working on? The Nine of Pentacles. It could actually be like independent work project. It could be something to do with your sovereignty, looking after yourself so that you can look after others. I like that. Because she's holding a little bird like in such a very nurturing and kind way in her hand. So Nine of Pentacles is very independent in terms of looking after the physical things that need to be looked after. Protecting yourself in some element as well here, because the Nine of Pentacles is like the Empress in protection or waiting. And there is just this sweet little bird in her hand. So I would say like looking after yourself, it definitely is putting the oxygen mask on yourself so that you can help others around you, which is kind of coming up with the companion card at the bottom. You've been working on you. You've been working on you, Aries. So what have you been healing? The Six of Swords. Wow, you've been healing, particularly with this card, getting past choppy waters, making your way beyond the storm. The Six of Swords, to me also, I feel strongly is about the universe trying to guide you somewhere, and to see where that goes. So there's also that, like having faith in the universe, things turn out a certain way, maybe not as you had planned, but there might be a bigger, might be something bigger playing out than what you are consciously aware of. So kind of like releasing and letting go in some aspect of control over your life, perhaps. What is starting to blossom? Wow, the Three of Swords. That's interesting. Because this deck, I'm going to have to look. It's been a while since I've seen it. I think this is this the Heaven and Earth Tarot? I could be wrong. I can't remember, and I apologize if it's not, and I don't know what it is, and you really want to know. But there's two Three of Swords and two Ten of Swords in this deck. Oh, I can't look at, because I have to. We're going to come back here because this is significant. This is not like the typical Three of Swords, and I just want to confirm that, though, to see the other one that's in this deck, because I think the other one is the more typical, where it is something to do with, you know, a disconnection, a conflict between what your mind and your heart may want, and just finding it difficult to meet the needs of either of those. But here, like, the swords are no longer in the heart, they're in a book. So it's like something that you can kind of get perspective on and look at from a different angle. And then all of the, like, the mind is open. Things are, it's almost as if, false ideas, ideals are flying away. Everything is just being released in a way. So what is starting to blossom is honestly probably a connection between your heart and your mind here. Once we pull out the rest of the cards, I am going to sort through the deck to find what I'm looking for in there. So in the future, you have the Seeker and the Moth. What will you finish working on? The Knight of Wands. Something that you've been passionately driven to do. Now, the other thing I do get with this card, because there's two little entities here, it does kind of talk to me about switching up your direction, switching up what kind of guided you or what motivated you to move, which is interesting because what you've been healing is the Six of Swords, which is having faith in the universe to see where the universe takes and guides you. Yeah, there's lots of room for you here. I can move over. You know how she's the boss because I give it to her. But actually, she does see me as the alpha. She always walks behind me when we go for walks. But she knows that in the home, she's the boss. She's the boss. I protect her outside of the house. Inside of the house, she runs things. That's okay. I'm okay with that. What will you finish working on? Definitely switching over how you guided yourself, I think. And like the passions that moved you forward. What will be healed? The Five of Wands. These two. Like squabbling over these sticks. So what will be healed here is perhaps some sort of disagreement or argument, or how you deal with disagreements and arguments. Conflict. That's interesting. How you deal with conflict. What will be ready to harvest? The Tower. Wow, shit. Oh, right then. I don't know what's coming for you in the future. But the Tower is what you're going to be ready to harvest. So, could be some sort of very dramatic change coming your way in the future. It could also be like a dramatic change that you've already been through and the end results of that. Or it could be you're about to make some sort of dramatic change in the future. The underlying card is the King of Wands and Temperance. Wow. That kind of like, it's interesting, right? Because you have what you'll finish working on in the future is the Knight of Wands. And with the King of Wands in Temperance, it really is tempering like how you self-discover, being patient with yourself, being patient with your drive, with your passion, your instincts. Oh, I want to look for it. And you know what? My foot's going to sleep. Stretch out. I can't cross legs indefinitely. I just want to see. Let's just look at the other Three of Swords. Just bear with me. Usually with my luck, it's towards the back of wherever I started looking. But if I go to the back right away, it won't be. So I have to do this. Yeah, right, so I'm gonna go to the back. Oh, it went! Is it the back? See, I intuitive did it. Oh gosh, that's profound. I'm glad we looked at it. Now look at this Three of Swords, right? There's something that she's, a small bird that's come out of her heart and it's in her hand. What is over here? What have you been working on? The bird in your hand. But this, okay, so this is transformed. This is the part where it becomes healed. Oh God, it almost feels like lying to your heart, the lies that you've told your heart, and releasing those. And it's really curious because all of these birds are flying out of his mind here and what is starting to blossom. And this is almost like getting rid of maybe ideas that weren't yours originally, concepts that you took on and incorporated into yourself that really weren't serving you. So definitely releasing something of the heart here. Okay, I'm glad we looked at that. And in a way, like nurturing it in a practical sense, with the Nine of Pentacles being very practical in how you nurture these things. Everything was perfect until I had to adjust a little bit. I still love you. It's okay. I'm not done. Don't go. I'm going to do the clarifiers. I'm going to clarify. Sorry, I have to organize. It's not like being on a table. All right, let's look at the Warrior. The Warrior is the archetypal energy that you are now. The Warrior. The Nine of Cups. Interesting. So now you've got two nines here. You've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. So fighting for your dreams, finding discipline, being tough about achieving your dreams, being a hero, being stoic. It's actually kind of a cool energy. I mean, if you're taking it on, it's great. Self-sacrifice and conquering ego. So if we talk about that too, with the Nine of Cups, this is like your own emotional fulfillment. You are like completely sovereign in terms of your emotions. You know, maybe some things might kind of get at you, and then, you know, you allow it to flow and to keep moving and go, what will be, and certain things will occur and may not occur. But at the end of the day, I'm the one in charge of how I feel about what's going on around me and within me. So with that Three of Swords, to like releasing something that almost felt like having to release things from the mind that are affecting perhaps lies that were told to the heart, and needing to release all of that is definitely like that self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. So realizing that maybe I've lied to myself in the past, or maybe I've convinced convinced myself in a way that I drove myself towards the lies that I convinced myself of. I hope I'm saying that right. And then once you work through all that, you truly find what sits within your heart and your mind space in a pure way. And that's what you're working on here. So it definitely is in the light. The unicorn, what is influencing this? The unicorn, which is magic. Unseen magic, I would say. The Four of Cups and the Page of Wands. What is influencing this odd energy? The Four of Cups and the Page of Wands for the unicorn. Focusing on what you thought you wanted and not seeing what it is that you truly did want with the Four of Cups. The Page of Wands could be communicating this, could be definitely also like finding that new path. Finding that new path. Could be, yeah, communicating this. Things that you were previously focused on were not in your higher good. So it's almost like realizing this. These weren't serving my higher good. I was missing the real cup here. Oh. Sorry, just making sure nothing got lost. Let's keep going. The Nine of Pentacles, what have you been working on? The Nine of Pentacles. The Six of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. I love that the Six of Swords is here because it's what have you been healing. So what you've been healing and working on are interconnected. Probably a lot of times would be anyways. But so definitely, I feel like, you know, not moving forward on things. Like there's a sense of self-guidance in cooperation with the universe here. Like, and that can definitely happen, particularly when you hit the Nine of Cups, because now you are really listening to yourself. So you aren't falsely driving yourself towards things that aren't for you, that aren't meant for you. And the universe, you're in the universe. Oh, I haven't said this in a while, but the Nine of Cups to me too is the frequency that the universe speaks at, that hears that. So it hears you. It hears your intention, and it understands that because it's the same language that it sits at. The same frequency. So you have been working on this, and really it's about the Ten of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. I feel as though like once you get to the 9, you would not want to go anywhere else from that point except the 10, which is finding other people, other environments that are supportive of this 9, that are true, that are pure, that are resonating emotionally at the frequency of the universe of higher intent. So you don't budge. You don't budge in a way unless that's what you see. And that's what's worth going towards for you. And you're working with the universe on that. The Six of Swords. What have you been healing? The Six of Swords. How you let the universe guide you and how you communicate to the universe. The King of Cups, look at that. See, really deep emotional state. The Hermit, all yours and nothing but yours. The King of Wands, there's that self-governance. And the Four of Swords, healing it, resting it. This is like taking a volcano and tempering it and utilizing it for a benefit as opposed to just letting it spew out, because it's fire energy and it's Aries, it's cardinal, it's initiator. It can be pretty strong energy. It's Mars. So taking all of that and tempering it, right? You had the King of Wands and Temperance at the bottom. It's taking all of that and almost using it as a fuel cell, as opposed to an explosive blob of energy just coming out. It becomes a fuel cell. And this fuel cell becomes the fuel that allows the universe to guide you. You keep healing it, you keep working on it. It's almost like there's no end to perfecting this. Okay, what is starting to blossom? The Three of Swords. Jeez. The Hanged Man, the Eight of Wands, the Moon, and the King of Swords. Oh, interesting. The Hanged Man with the Eight of Wands and the Moon, that combination there feels as if that tempering of self energy again, where you will step back and observe instead of perhaps moving strongly forward based on fears. Because our fears can really drive us, but fears are often driven by ego as well. So our fears can really drive us here. And one of the things I've often said is that if you're making decisions based on fear, you can guarantee that you're making the wrong decisions. So that's really, really important. Yeah, what is sitting behind the decision that you're making? Oh, and then the King of Swords being very, very clear about the decisions that you're making. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about these with the King of Swords. Clear-minded, very clear-minded thinking. So in the future, you have the Moth with the Seeker. We're talking about clear-minded thinking, like that starting to blossom. Thirst for wisdom and truth, wherever they are now. Let's see. The Seeker in the future for Aries. The truth that you seek is the truth, and it is victory. It's almost like something that others were hoping you would find, and you find it somehow, because everybody's cheering in the background. So I don't know what that could be. The Moth. The Eight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. If this was the other way, I would say you're walking away from something here, but this is almost like you're walking towards something. You could be walking towards an opportunity. You could be, you know, that's a good question. I sit here and I wonder, what is a more higher developed or elevated archetype? The Nine of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles? I'm going to say probably the Queen of Pentacles, because it's an actual court card. And the Queen of Pentacles is very engaging. The Queen of Pentacles is nurturing those around her. The Queen of Pentacles is building on success, is continuing to form a foundation through like a root system, and has abundance growing around her. She's not also in, like a fenced area or a wall, which is often what goes on with the Nine of Pentacles. So you're almost emotionally disconnecting in the future from what it is you've been working on. And the fact that the Three of Swords is starting to blossom into clarity, opening to new possibilities and situations, definitely new abundance. Sorry, I should take these tags off, right? It says, under penalty of law, this tag not to be removed except by the consumer. Well, I consumed it. And what's this one? It's a fabric content. I never take them off. Okay, so Knight of Wands. this is what you will finish working on. The Queen of Wands. Look at this. It's another elevation. Ah. This is a sense of what is meant for me will come to me. Because the Knight of Wands is driven. It goes for it. Where the Queen is a yin energy. So it's more receptive. It's receiving. And it's shining. So you're elevating. You're elevating your status somehow in the future. So what will be healed? And your archetypal status, right? So what will be healed is the Five of Wands. It kind of feels like, you know, how you approach conflict, how you deal with conflict, or it could specifically be a conflict that you're dealing with now and in the future. You'll heal that. The Five of Wands. I don't know what this card is, but this is a really interesting combination, the first two. The Seven of Swords and the Two of Wands. This is like hiding, either hiding from your dreams or hiding from your dreams. Did I just say the same thing twice? Hiding? No. Okay. Hiding your dreams. So not, you know, letting other people know what your dreams are, and not kind of exhibiting that in your day-to-day life, like keeping it a secret, and then you walk out the door and there's no inclination at all what your dreams could be for yourself. But then hiding from your dreams, really, that feels very strongly related to what's going on for you currently with the Nine of Cups and the Warrior card. Yeah, everything that I basically discussed here about the ego and the heart. So what is this? Oh, the Devil. Wow. It almost feels as if your dream is so powerful and could possibly be so abundant that you felt the need to hide it. But I do also feel like, though, this is perhaps even just the toxic manifestation of hiding from our dreams or hiding our dreams. So it's healing this, the conflict in that. And what will be ready to harvest is the Tower. What will be ready to harvest is the Tower. There's a lot to talk about. Let's start it out in the order that I believe it came in. Oh my goodness. You have the Four of Wands and the Three of Swords. And then you have the World card coming in. Interesting, you have the Three of Swords, right? Because this is what is starting to blossom. So I always have to think, like, what is blossoming is something that is connected to what you're going to harvest in the future. It has to blossom before it can come to its full growth and fruition, and then you can harvest it. So this is possibly, it could be a relationship. It could be something that was, at least at some point in your life, it was a celebration, but it ended in a heartbreak. It ends in heartache and heartbreak, and then you close that cycle off. Three of Swords was part of the blossom. And then what comes in after closing off a cycle with the World card is you have the Ace of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. This is like clearly, undoubtedly seeing a shift in your cycle. Which I'm assuming is a good shift, because you're going from things that should have been celebratory to being heartbreak. So it's a good Tower moment. And what do we have at the bottom? The Strength card, the Three of Pentacles, and the Chariot. And in a way, I'm getting kind of like knowing your worth with what's come out here with the Strength card, knowing your worth, and like who do you share this worth with, and what environments does this worth grow, and what environment is this worth helpful to others as well. And then the Chariot, like which direction will you go? We have to know your worth before you know the answer to that question. So Lily is settled, so nice. She's suntanning her ass. That's good. I'm going to go do the extended for you, Aries. In the extended, I look at the in-between energy between the current and the future for you. We're going to look at personal challenges, distractions to be aware of, and area to focus on in your life, I guess. Yeah. Nobody else's life, your life. So that's what I have, my sweet little I was going to call you Butterball Aries. I don't know, maybe some of you have gained weight. It's funny. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.